started with the kind of evening that disguises its warning signs in plain sight. A warm dusk sky, a familiar parking lot, and 5 children lingering longer than usual. Nothing broke the surface until a single buzz ruptured the silence. No hints, no lead-up, just 7 words that cracked the foundation of everything he trusted. Between the echoes of silence and duty, a man found himself staring at the edge of a decision: collapse or endure. But the story that followed wasn't about despair. It whispered of grit, unflinching awareness, and a justice that never shouts. It listens. If you think you can picture betrayal, pause. This is how reckoning starts. It was barely past 7 p.m. on a heavy Thursday. Logan Walker pulled slowly into the school lot. Same routine, same rhythm, though tonight wasn't on his usual rotation. Claire Walker, his wife, mapped their weeks with relentless precision, as always. Pickups, drops, meds, music, reminders. She made sure nothing slipped. She was the planner. Her messages always landed in bursts. Pick up Eli at 6:10. Don't forget Chloe's meds. Sophie's piano book is in the drawer. But that Thursday, silence. No buzzes. No nudges. Odd, but not alarming. Until Logan realized he hadn't heard from her since morning. Sitting now, alone, staring at the lit-up dash clock, something pressed at his instincts. Reflexively, he unlocked his phone. One message. From Claire. His gut turned as he tapped. I'm in Hawaii. Take care of the kids. 7 words. No emojis. No story. Just cold wait. Logan blinked. Again. Was it real? Some auto-corrected fluke? Again he read it. I'm in Hawaii. Take care of the kids. His lungs stalled. What was this? A prank? A warning? Through the rear view, 5 small shadows approached. Eli, 10, his bag slipping. Chloe and Sophie whispering. Josh holding Mia's hand. All of them confused. All of them Claire's pickups. Eli tugged the door. Where's Mom? He asked, peering inside. Logan offered a smile he didn't own. Emergency. I'm here, he said, barely steady. It didn't. His hands shook while buckling Mia. The ride home blurred. Traffic, snacks, talk of school. Logan's mind echoing with her words. Once home, after dinner and bedtime stories, he stood alone and called Claire. Over and over. Voicemail. He left messages at first, then gave up. Tried FaceTime. Nothing. Checked socials. Blank. He messaged, what do you mean we? Who's we? Are you okay? Claire, talk to me. Nothing came. Not that night. Not that weekend. In the long days after, Logan lived like a single parent, without warning, without instruction. Breakfast, hairbrushing, lunches, tears, coats, sobs, tantrums, silence. He wore a brave face and checked his phone every 10 minutes. Still nothing. Claire had vanished. He called her mother. No reply. Her sister, no update. Finally, Claire's HR. She requested leave. Approved last week. That's when it clicked. Claire hadn't cracked. She planned it. Every detail. And now 5 children asked why kisses were gone. No answers. Just a ghost and a message. Logan, overwhelmed, carried the weight. But something inside him turned. This wasn't just absence. It was a knife. And though he didn't know what to do, he knew he wouldn't stay shattered. 2 weeks. That's how long since she disappeared. 14 days. 14 sleepless nights pacing and waiting for a screen to light up. Logan Walker knew duty. But this was a storm. School runs. Calls. Lost lunchboxes. Tears. Nightmares. Questions. Silence. In the dark hours, he folded laundry like ritual. Pancake mornings. Missed giraffe shapes. He tried anyway. A neighbor stepped in, saw his exhaustion, offered help. It was a kindness. It was also a mirror. Logan saw himself. Drained, broken, but breathing. He opened his laptop. The cloud account. Photos. Emails. Then, the email. First class. 2 names. Claire Walker. Damon Scott. Logan froze. Air gone. Damon, his best friend, his partner, his best man, his brother in arms. This wasn't chaos. It was design. She didn't run. She escaped. With him. Not just a betrayal. A strategy. Not just leaving. A swap. Logan's heartbreak turned cold. Sharp. He wouldn't chase. Wouldn't cry. Wouldn't scream. That's what they'd expect. He chose different. Calm. Focused. Steady. Not for revenge, but protection. He would build a wall they couldn't shake. When Claire returned, as they always do, she'd meet a different Logan. One who stopped asking. He was done reacting. He was building. Logan didn't snap. He didn't fire off texts or scream into the phone. Not anymore. After 2 weeks of absorbing her decisions, of facing Damon's betrayal, he had one mission: protect and rebuild. Not emotionally. Not recklessly. With precision. Like disabling explosives. Every movement deliberate. Step 1: legal. He booked a consult with the city's top family attorney, Rachel Hayes, known for her courtroom grit and razor instincts. In her glass-paneled office, Logan laid it all out: texts, emails, dates, everything since Claire left. Rachel skimmed, paused, leaned back in her chair. Said without a flicker of hesitation, "She's toast." Rachel's tone was clipped and clinical. "The court won't tolerate a mother who abandons 5 kids with a single sentence, disappears for weeks, and returns only when her illusion falls apart. You've got strong grounds for full custody. I'll push emergency orders through today." Logan didn't grin. He simply gripped the arm of the chair tightly. This wasn't revenge. It was about rebuilding from the rubble she left behind. Finances came next. Logan met quietly with an advisor. No fanfare, just strategic moves. He began shifting their shared accounts, legally, transparently, into ones in his name. Every transaction was clean, traceable, and linked to the kids. Tuition, groceries, doctor visits, jackets, haircuts, cereal. Every dollar documented. Claire had walked away from responsibility. She wouldn't benefit from what she abandoned. He froze access to joint accounts. If she returned to challenge anything, he'd hand her the paperwork. And at home, Logan spoke no ill of Claire. Not once. He didn't craft stories or plant seeds of hate. When Chloe asked about Mommy, he said gently, "She's away. But I'm here, and we're going to be okay." When Eli's silence stretched long, Logan sat next to him until words returned. When Sophie cried in the dark, he stayed by her side until she slept. He never fed bitterness. The goal wasn't resentment, it was safety, stability, something they could depend on. Eventually, the questions faded. The quiet returned. And Logan waited. That was his move: wait. He knew her restlessness. She hadn't left from longing. She left for fantasy. But fantasy always fades. And when it did, she'd try to return. He didn't stalk her pages or call hotels or follow digital trails. He just prepared, signed school forms, packed lunches, soothed tantrums. The house didn't crumble, it adapted. It breathed without her. 3 more weeks passed in silence. Then, on a Tuesday morning at 7:42 a.m., her name flashed across his phone. First a FaceTime, then another, then 5 texts. "Where are the kids? Why aren't you answering? I'm back. We need to talk. You're being insane." Logan stared blankly. Her silence had said more than her voice ever could. Now, she wanted to be heard. But he wasn't reacting. He wasn't celebrating. He just poured his coffee and waited. Because this wasn't a game. The outcome was already decided. She just hadn't noticed. She arrived the next morning, no warning, no apology, just squealing tires and a hard knock on the front door. Logan opened it slowly. Claire stood there, oversized glasses shoved into her hair, blouse wrinkled, expression half composed, half falling apart. Her panic peeked through her poise. "Where are the kids?" she snapped. No hello. No guilt. Just demand. "At school," Logan answered calmly. "Where they should be." She tried stepping in. He didn't move. "You don't live here anymore." Her face twisted. "What's wrong with you?" "I'm their mother. I leave for a few weeks, and now I'm a stranger." "You are a stranger," Logan replied. His voice didn't waver. "You vanished. No goodbye. No explanation. You texted like I was a sitter, not your husband. You left your children like they were luggage." Her voice cracked. "I needed time. I was overwhelmed." "No," Logan said. "You didn't need time. You needed permission to fly to Hawaii with Damon Scott. But you didn't ask." Her lips quivered. For once, the mirror was facing her. "You can't keep them from me," she whispered. "I already am," Logan replied. "You'll hear from my lawyer today." Her mouth dropped. "You got a lawyer?" Logan didn't answer. He reached behind the door and handed her an envelope. Inside, the text: missed calls, school records, grocery receipts, medical bills. At the top, the emergency custody order. Claire's hands shook flipping through. "I didn't mean to be gone so long," she mumbled. "Damon said it would just be a short trip. We lost track of time." Logan laughed. "Once. cold and stunned. You lost track of 5 weeks. I want to fix this. No, he said. You don't fix betrayal. You chose him. Over your kids. Her silence told the truth. Damon was gone. You made a mistake, she whispered. No, Logan said. You made choices. He shut the door. Behind it, her knees hit the porch. The sobs came, raw, broken, but he didn't reopen it. He stood inside, hand on the knob, breathing deep. This wasn't cruelty. This was consequence. Later that night, Rachel called. She just filed for joint custody. It won't stick. The court's reviewing our documentation. She doesn't stand a chance. Logan didn't cheer. He turned the phone face down, looked at the fridge covered in crayon art, the drying lunchboxes, and exhaled deeply. She had returned. But the door was not only closed, it was locked. The fallout came fast. A week after Claire's return, the judge ruled temporary full custody to Logan. Supervised visits for Claire, pending review. The judge called her absence parental abandonment. No soft language. No excuse. Claire hadn't taken a break. She'd walked away. She showed up at court polished, tailored blazer, perfected makeup, neutral smile. But when the judge said reckless disregard for parental responsibility, the cracks began to show. Logan didn't speak. He didn't need to. The evidence did that. Outside the courtroom, the news spread slowly, then fast. Whispers turned into schoolyard talk. One teacher said Claire showed up at lunchtime unannounced. Security had to escort her away. Eli saw it happen through the cafeteria window. He didn't run to her, didn't wave, just stood still, watching. Then came the neighborhood group chats. PTA moms noticed Claire trying to reappear at meetings. That night, screenshots lit up their thread. Someone had pulled her now public photos. Hawaii, cocktails, a yacht, Damon's arm tight around her waist. One showed him kissing her neck. Claire laughing, like nothing had been left behind. The thread exploded. Comments flew. Disgust built. And then Nina Coleman, Sophie's classmate's mom, posted the message that broke the group. She disappeared for a month to play mistress in Maui and then tried to return like nothing had changed. But the world she left behind had moved on. Quickly, her social media vanished within hours, but the wreckage was already public. Reputations don't bruise, they break. Hers was in freefall. Then came a final twist. Melissa Scott, Damon's wife, contacted Logan through a mutual friend. They met in a quiet downtown cafe. Melissa was collected, composed, but the fatigue in her eyes was unmistakable, someone who'd been blindsided too. I just want you to know, she said calmly, my lawyer's filing tomorrow. Divorce. And I'm naming Claire in the suit for alienation of affection. It's still legal here. Logan raised his eyebrows. He hadn't thought of that. Melissa sipped her drink. If you need a witness, I'll testify. I have everything, screenshots, photos, texts. She knew he was married. She just didn't care. Logan exhaled. You just became my favorite person this month. Melissa offered a smile. Let's burn them both. That night, Logan sat in the living room as Josh and Mia giggled on the rug. Around him was the home Claire had abandoned, but it no longer felt like hers. Something in him had shifted. No more fury. No satisfaction, either. Just clarity. Peace didn't always roar. Sometimes it whispered. She'd torched her life. All he had to do was not stop her. When Claire Walker finally walked into the courtroom for the custody hearing, she was unrecognizable. Gone were the designer clothes and the performative poise. She wore black, hair pulled back sloppily, eyes sunken, darting, looking for a lifeline. But no one reached for her, not even Damon. Across the aisle, Logan sat calm in a gray blazer. No tie, not there to win, just to receive what had already been earned through quiet grit and relentless care. The judge entered. No soft introductions, just business. Melissa Scott took the stand. Crisp, clear, devastating. She presented photos, messages, receipts. Claire and Damon had started long before Hawaii. Melissa described lies told to children, affairs carried out like vacations. No shame, no foresight. Then the final evidence, a letter from Damon, begging Melissa not to go public. The judge didn't need more. I've heard enough, she said, stern and final. Miss Walker, your actions show a disturbing disregard for your children. You disappeared. You ceased contact. You caused harm. Claire's voice wavered. I was overwhelmed. The judge cut her off. You were in Maui. Not rehab. Not a hospital. A luxury resort. The gavel hit wood. Full custody to Mr. Logan Walker. Visitation revoked. Psychiatric evaluation required. Case closed. The room stilled. Papers shuffled. Claire froze. Eyes wide. Mouth slightly open. Waiting. But no objections came. No one rose to defend her. Logan buttoned his blazer and walked past her. No glance. No gloat. Just forward motion. Morning sunlight poured in behind him. That night, folding laundry while cartoons played in the background, Logan's phone buzzed. One message. Claire Iyer, you ruined me. He stared at it a long moment. Then replied, Logan, you did that all by yourself. Phone down. Breath steady. He turned back to Chloe and Mia curled on the couch, their laughter like music through the quiet. There were no fireworks. No spectacle. Just a locked door. A clear mind. A future reclaimed. He never tried to destroy her. He didn't have to. She'd done that herself. Logan's focus was only on what mattered. His children. The house felt different now. Not empty. Just calm. A kind of peace built slowly, 1 hour, one task at a time. He didn't check his phone for her name anymore. Didn't pace the floor rehearsing words he'd never say. That chapter? Sealed. Done. In its place was something stronger. Something steady. One packed lunch, one bedtime hug, one skin knee at a time. The kids were healing. Eli pitched again on the school team. Logan never missed a game. Chloe drew bright pictures. One labeled Daddy, the hero hung on the fridge. Sophie's songs returned, silly and loud. Even Josh and Mia seemed taller, steadier, safer. Logan never asked for recognition. Never needed thanks. He just did what a father does when love wins over pain. He stayed. He showed up. And he built a new world where nothing could be stolen. Silence filled the spaces Claire once tried to dominate. No outbursts, no revenge speeches, no attempts to earn pity. Just quiet, consistent presence. Claire Walker had disappeared into the background. After losing custody, she moved back in with her mother, 3 states away. The woman who once curated a perfect life online now had no audience left. She was unemployed, still entangled in a lawsuit filed by Melissa Scott for alienation of affection, and slowly realizing that the fantasy she'd chased had cost her everything real. Damon Scott hadn't done any better. After the photos leaked and the truth surfaced, he lost his position at the company he co-founded. His marriage crumbled. His reputation, both socially and professionally, disintegrated. Word had it he was living alone in a small, unkempt studio, bouncing between low-paying consulting gigs and avoiding familiar faces in public places. Logan didn't spend energy on them anymore. He didn't need to. They were background noise now. Footnotes in a story that no longer belonged to them. His world was full again. Emma's science project, Mia's growing puzzle collection, Josh learning to ride without training wheels. His time was consumed by the meaningful. His hours were spoken for. There were still hard days, but they were his. Real, rooted, free of shadows. Sometimes someone would ask, "How did you get through it?" He would offer a small, tired smile and say, "One day at a time." Because that was the truth. There was no secret formula to healing. No roadmap for heartbreak. Only the daily decision to keep showing up. Even when the other parent vanished. Even when it felt unfair. One night, as he tucked in Sophie, she hugged his neck and whispered, "I'm glad you're our dad." That's when he knew. He hadn't just endured betrayal. He'd transformed it. Into stability. Into love that didn't flinch. Protection that didn't fail. The past was still there, but it had lost its power. Claire and Damien made their choices. Those choices built walls between them and the life they abandoned. Logan didn't choose revenge. He chose peace. And in doing so, he gained something far more powerful than courtroom victories or whispered sympathies. He found freedom. Because sometimes revenge doesn't shout. It doesn't make headlines. It doesn't destroy. Sometimes, the most devastating revenge is this. Living a life so complete, so grounded, so untouchable, that those who left you behind are forced to watch from the outside. They become ghosts of their own making. Spectators to a life they no longer have access to. Logan understood that now. As he turned off the hallway light and gently closed the door to his children's room, he smiled. This calm, this resilience, this was justice. Justice didn't need applause. It didn't need an audience. It needed only the quiet conviction that he'd rebuilt everything she tried to walk away from. Logan's story reminds us of something simple but profound. Strength isn't in shouting back. It's in rising quietly. When someone breaks your world, Don't try to break theirs. Build yours. Let those who abandoned you live in the echo of their own absence, while you protect what matters, while you live on. Because the truest revenge isn't vengeance. It's peace. It's walking away with grace while they watch from behind the life they once thought they owned. If this story made you reflect, don't stop here. Scroll down. The comments section has pinned questions. Choose A, B, C, or D. Tell us what you would have done. Your answer might speak for someone else's silence.